Big breaking news which is coming in, and this one is coming in from Russian shores. Well, Russia has now been flexing its muscles after US's attack on ISIS at the Afpak border. In fact, Russia claims to have 4 times as powerful a bomb as the mother of all bombs, and calls it the father of all bombs. Now remember, all of this is looked at the rivalry which has happened between the two nations after US had claimed that it had exploded the mother of all bombs. Russia now claims to have a bomb which is 4 times stronger than the ones that US have used, and has called it and dubbed it the father of all bombs. It's quite interesting because remember, this was after all not just a military message but also a political message which has been sent across by the United States of America to all those nations that it is rather cautious of, be it North Korea, be it Pakistan, and even Russia, even though the relationship between the two parties, the two nations have changed considering Trump came to power. But despite that, now you see a lot of shadow boxing and muscle flexing which has happened, with Russia claiming to have a bomb which it dubs as the father of all bombs, and claims that it's 4 times as powerful as the bomb which was exploded by the United States on the Afpak border. Well, that's a big breaking news that we are getting for you. Well, in fact, let's move on to yet another breaking which is coming in. Breaking news related to United States having exploded the mother of all bombs on the Afpak border. More breaking news which is coming in this time around. The U.S. State Department Secretary Mark Toner has spoken about it and says a very strong message which has been sent across to Pakistan, saying that it's in Pakistan's interest to work with Afghanistan on security issues. In fact, he's added that U.S. believes that there still are safe havens for terrorists in Pakistan, using which terrorist group carry out strikes in Afghanistan. Remember, this has been one of the biggest problems that India too has been facing, considering there have been several terror launch pads which have been set up by Pakistan along the Indo-Pak border as well, and it is the very tumultuous Afpak border where a lot of the terror camps are there. In fact, all of them have been harboring terrorists, they've been promoting Islamic terror, and that is the message which has been sent across to the United States, even to our very violent neighbor Pakistan, saying that after having dropped the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan, its focus major shift to other safe havens for terrorists, namely those in Pakistan as well. So this is a huge blow for Pakistan, a very strong political posturing done there by the newly elected President Trump. He's been in charge for the last 8 weeks, and within that he's essentially sent out a message that there's a new sheriff in town, and that no longer will the army of United States be bridled and be shackled anymore, as he claims that it was under Obama's administration. Meanwhile, it's quite interesting to see the message which has been sent across by United States State Secretary as well, Mark Toner, to Pakistan, saying that there are safe havens in Pakistan for terrorists, and it's important that in Pakistan's interest itself, they must work with Afghanistan. But let's go across to our Deputy Editor of Defense, Ashish Singh, who joins us with more on this. Well, Ashish, interesting posturing, because after all, the explosion of that mother of all bombs really wasn't just a military stance, it was a political message which is being sent across.
Well, that's right. There are at least 2 underlining facts of this particular bomb of 21,000 pounds. This is the biggest non-nuclear bomb the world has seen so far. It's in the history of in the military. Now, there are at least, I'm told that the tension from the Donald Trump side was one, that it was close to Afghanistan-Pakistan border. So certainly it's a direct message to Pakistan as well, that what can happen if the terror events continue to spread in the Pakistan area, specifically with respect to creating terror pads against India. The second was the political message. As you mentioned, yes, that's correct, that Trump is really trying to capture the highlight of the entire bomb episode by giving a message to the world that he is no less than Barack Obama. He is no less than his predecessors when it comes to anti-terror steps, and that certainly has been very well conveyed to the entire world, including Pakistan.
Well, in fact, also if you can underline to us, how is this likely to be received by Pakistan as well? Because you've mentioned how there are terror launch pads all across POK. That is something that NewsX has been delineating time and again, has been focusing on. Do you think this is a strong message to Pakistan as well, which has constantly been harboring terror, especially with the statement coming in from Mark Turner?
Well, sir, there were, if you remember, at least 10 days ago, from the US's envoy in United Nations, Nikki Haley. She had mentioned it very clearly that the US would like to intervene between India and Pakistan on the issue of Kashmir and terrorism. It certainly is the message that Trump might not refrain from intervening when it comes to terrorism and the other aspects. But Pakistan, if you see in last at least half to 1 decade, has been leaning more towards China, and considering US has been losing grip over Pakistan after the Afghanistan war, that is something that US would like to recapture. In that situation, Pakistan assumes that China would come to its rescue, but would that happen or not, it would entirely depend what would be the course and the intensity of Donald Trump towards Pakistan against the terror.
Quite interesting. Of course, that is something that we are going to be looking out for. Let's see how Pakistan also responds to this. However, another interesting aspect of all of this is with Russia coming out and saying that if US has the mother of all bombs, then Russia has the father of all bombs, claiming that they have a bomb which is 4 times more powerful than this one. So we still see shadow boxing and muscle flexing happening despite the alleged proximity between Donald Trump and Putin.
See, Meghna, Syria has been one fertile ground for international powers to play politics. We have seen how Ukraine issue was very well played both by US and Russia, and this again has become one issue of dropping the bomb of the biggest bomb, largest bomb in the history of world military, of 21,000 pound bomb, which is in colloquial language said as mother of all bomb. Certainly US doesn't want to completely feel inferior as far as the international level is concerned. They are also trying to send a message that if US has mother of all bomb, then Russia has father of all bomb. You never know what would China would come up with maybe a little later in the day. So that's something we have seen that Syria, Afghanistan, and there are these countries and these issues have become the fertile ground for the international powers to play the game of one-upmanship.
And also, Ashish, if you could explain the kind of messaging that United States has already sent out, especially to North Korea as well. I believe that there is already a lot of military activity which has happened along their own boundaries. They already started preparing for something perhaps larger confrontation.
Just to inform viewers, day before yesterday, US has diverted one of the biggest assets, including the aerial assets within the aircraft carrier of US Air Force and US Navy. That certainly is to basically continue their power projection. The message will certainly go to North Korea as well, but apart from North Korea, there are at least 2 to 3 different countries that US would be directly sending this message simultaneously to. Russia, as you mentioned, yes, but it's more of it's more towards North Korea and China than Russia, considering since the time Trump has come, the relations and the tensions between US and Russia has gone down a bit.
Interesting, the global impact on the politics and diplomacy after this strike. In fact,